Hi everybody. Courage to Change, March 27th. Decided to do this live. What do you think about that? In fact, I think I'm going to try to do it live every morning when I do mine. I'll just go on live and do it. And so warning, that might mean I have no makeup on and I'm a mess. Okay, so you've seen me a mess before. It's not a big surprise. I really don't have a lot of dignity. If you go on YouTube and you look at some of my past videos, you'll be like, oh my God, who would do that? And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I did that. When I first started doing this, I had all of this experience with codependency. You know, I was working at that treatment center. If you haven't heard that before, I know I read this Courage to Change on here, but I'll just tell you briefly about myself. So I am a recovering alcoholic addict and a codependent, okay? And I worked at this treatment center. I was an executive director at a treatment center here in Palm Springs, California. It was a 30-bed medical assisted detox. Oh, if you can imagine dealing with an alcoholic addict, but 30 of them all going through detox, it was ugh. And I dealt with the families, and I learned more about my own codependency issues doing that than I did in Al-Anon. I mean, Al-Anon was my anchor to save my life with my own relationships. But I'm telling you, working in that treatment center with other families was like, whoa. So when I got out, they sold that treatment center, which was the reason I was there, was to help them sell it. And when they sold that treatment center, I had all this experience and knowledge, and I wanted to put it out to the world. And I got this book. I ran across this book by Gary Vaynerchuk, and it was called Crush It. And then he wrote a second one called Crushing It. And very short, he's very to the point. He was talking about getting your message out and how to do it. And so I did everything that I was supposed to do to kind of set this up, but I could not go on camera. And one day I was driving and I was listening to him, and he said, have you gone on camera yet? Like, not to me, but in general to people that were listening to him. And I thought, well, no, how does he know I haven't gone on camera yet? And so he said, I want you to pull over right now, get off the treadmill, stop jogging, whatever you're doing, stop it. And I know you've got your phone with you because you're watching me. If you're on your own PC at home, you know, then just do this. And he said, right now, I want you to just turn on the camera and start videoing. Well, I did that. I thought, God, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to have to do it. And I did. And I pulled over, and I had like no makeup on. My hair was on fire. You know what I mean? It's like, and I went on like that. And I was like, blah, 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 blah. And it was alive, and that was it. And that broke my problem, you know, because if I had waited to get my message out till I had makeup on and my hair done, there'd be no message for me to get. I mean, I would not be doing that. So anyway, I'm going to start doing these live in the morning when I do them myself with my coffee, and that way they'll get done because I've been inconsistent. And part of it is because I film them, right? I was filming them on my camera, but then I'd have to wait for it to download or upload. I don't know. I'm not a techie, but it would have to download into my iCloud so I could pull it up on my computer to post it on this page. Well, if I do it live, I don't have to do any of that. So every morning, it'll probably be about 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, or sometime around there. That's when I usually do it. And I'll be on here live. So if you want to jump on live with me, great. Otherwise, you can watch the recording because it'll just post anyway. But I don't have to do uploading, downloading. Okay? So good morning and happy Sunday. Let's get back to Courage to Change, March 27th. I used to think that living meant surviving from crisis to crisis. I continued to function this way as an adult because it was the only way that I knew. Since that time, the Al-Anon Fellowship has become like family to me. Our 12 traditions help me learn how a healthy family group functions. Today, when a problem involving other people arises, I turn to the traditions for guidance. They have made it possible for me to be a part of the group that encourages my growth. They have led me to learn to detach, to respect other people's privacy, and to find some release from my need to dominate and control. Because of the 12 traditions, I have discovered that I am an important member of any group in which I take part. I have a sense of my own value as well as my limitations. As a result, I am developing the wisdom to know the difference between what I can change and what I must accept. Today's reminder, because the traditions are based on spiritual principles, they often apply to personal matters as well as group concerns. When I get tangled up in problems with other people, the traditions can offer guidance and perspective. Well, that's, I love that because I talk about this stuff all the time. I use a different lingo, but a lot of you have heard this before, so I'll translate it into Karen language, okay? So first thing, the 12 steps are for the individual, all right? If you're going to Al-Anon, I highly recommend you do the 12 steps. If you feel uncomfortable doing that with a sponsor, you can do them. Go to my Family and Friends Program of Recovery Facebook page, and I have the steps on there for you. I'll walk you through the steps, okay? It's pre-recorded, so you can do it at your own rate, and I run those every so often, so you can always do it that way, but they will change your life. Now, the traditions are for the group what the steps are for the individual, but they also apply to your life, so you can use those. But this part right here reminds me of things I often talk about because they have been huge tools in my own life. One is they have led me to learn to detach, okay? So I have this thing that I say that I got from my home group, which I don't talk a lot about on here, but I'm going to say it right now because it's really a quick, easy way to detach, okay? The term is play dead. Just stop. Just stop. If you're in an argument, play dead. Just give up. Just listen, right? Now, the first time I tried this, I'd heard about this kind of idea. I used to use the term "thy will be done." But that's a lot to think about. But something about that play dead. They say when you're being attacked by a grizzly bear that you're supposed to play dead. Do not fight. And they will kind of and walk away from you. Supposedly, I have not tried that out. I don't expect any of you to try to test that out, but that's the concept, and a lot of people has worked for. So the same when you're arguing with someone, especially if you're arguing with someone that's been drinking or using, just play dead. Just stop, detach. Don't respond, right? I used this once. Maybe this will really help you understand why this is important, okay? I talk a lot about when you're in alcoholism with someone or addiction, any kind of conflict with anybody, right? Maybe they're just right straight out of their mind, okay? When you're in conflict, you're in it. And if you can detach, the way to detach is become an observer. Watch the show, don't be the show. You've heard me say that before, right? So I was on a plane trip. I got on a plane to fly to Canada. And I was going to Calgary. And I was a nervous flyer at the time, right? I've gotten over it, but it was really upsetting to me. I had a bad flight and I was like, oh, I hate this. So I get on the plane and I'm like, okay, thy will be done, thy will be done. And I get on the plane and I'm sitting there, and before we even leave to taxi onto the runway, the pilot came on and he said, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to flight 345 or whatever it was. Flight to Calgary. We just flew down from Calgary and the weather was quite bad. It was very choppy and it was a very difficult flight. And so I just want to let you know ahead of time that this is going to be one of those flights. So I'm going to need you to stay in your seat. I'm going to leave the seatbelt on the whole time, and there will be no stewardess service. The stewardess will remain fastened in their seatbelts for the duration of the flight. Oh my God! I contemplated getting up and running off the flight. I just thought, I can't do it today. I just can't take it. I just don't want to do this. This is like, oh my God. I don't know if you know what I mean, but if you've ever been confronted with something like that you just don't want to do. And I thought, well, shit, you know, God either is or he isn't, right? So I sat in the seat, buckled my seatbelt, and I started praying. And we took off, and the flight was everything that he promised. It was turbulent and horrifying. I mean, all of a sudden we just drop, and everybody go, ah! You know, babies were crying and books were flying, and I was like, why would they even bring us up in this atmosphere? So we're flying, and I don't think I can take it. I mean, I'm holding onto the seat so tight that I can just barely, you know, my hands are just stir. And the thought came in my mind to play dead. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. If I was dead, this would still be happening. Like, if I wasn't here, if I would have run off the flight, this would still be going on. Like, this has nothing to do with me. And all of a sudden, I was able to observe the flight. It got me disconnected energetically. And I was able to go, oh my gosh, this is this would be happening anyway. Like, these people are going to take off, have a bumpy flight, and land, and then tell a story at dinner. Like, this is, I was like, it was me. I was going to die. And I thought, God, you know, and when I detached and I thought, I'm just going to play dead and pretend like I'm not even on this flight. Like, I'm on the ground looking at the flight up in the air. And I calmed down immediately. I became an observer, right? So that's how I detach. Next part of this reading was to respect other people's privacy. Well, that's my old saying about stay in your hula hoop. You know, half the things that I get involved in are none of my business. More than half. And why do I volunteer for everything? Somebody says, oh God, you know, we're moving and I'm so overwhelmed and I don't know what to do and I say, I'll help you. I'll help. I'm really good at this. I'm a professional organizer. I can come over and help. What? Zip it. Shut up. Right? Maybe they were going to say, oh my God, we've got to move and I'm so overwhelmed. Thank God my sister-in-law is flying in from Tampa. She's a professional organizer and she's going to take care of everything. Her and my brother are coming. But I didn't even give them a chance. I just immediately jumped in and said, I'll help you. I'll do it. No reason for your sister-in-law to fly in. I got it. What is that about? I don't have time for that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to move myself, let alone someone else. So you see what I mean? I jump out of my hula hoop into someone else's like that. I don't even know I'm doing it. And I've had to really utilize the tool of pausing. You know, ever since they came up with that emoji with the zipper across its lip, that is my power symbol. You know what I mean? I got this horoscope from someone the other day and they said, your power sign is a lightning bolt. And I thought, no, my power sign is that smiley face with a zipper across his mouth, right? MYOB. Stay in your own hula hoop. And then, and that gives me a way to release from my need to dominate and control. My need to be involved in everything, right? Everything would be going on if I wasn't on this planet, right? I'm here to live my life. I was given this life for me. And if I wasn't here with my little life, everybody else would be fine with theirs. You know what I mean? I don't need to be in there. I'm supposed to be living my life. So I just love the reading. I love the clarity. I love that the traditions back that up, how they came up with a program with steps to make it so simple and traditions for the group that make it so simple so we can live happy, joyous, and free, right? We can live our own life and move forward into what we want to be and do, regardless of what anyone else is doing, right? So I love the reading today, and I hope this live works for all of you. I'm going to try it. I'm just going to start going live when I do it myself, and I also want to make sure that you all know that I am doing a boot camp this weekend, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of April. There's links on this page. I posted a couple little ads for it where you can just hop on and sign up. It is free. And I'm going to be going through the same format on those 3 days that I use when I work with somebody one-on-one. There's so many people that contacted me that need help, and I just can't meet with everybody on the planet. There's people from other countries, time zones, and it's apparent to me that I need to make something available. So that boot camp is going to, if you sign up, you'll go to the private Facebook group for that particular boot camp. It's from 10 to 11 on Friday the 1st, Saturday the 2nd, and Sunday the 3rd. It'll be recorded, and I'll post the recording up on that Facebook group for a week. So if you miss one, or you're late, or you want to go back and watch it again, you can do that. And it will give you a lot of tips and tools where I go into things deeper and in an order that you can utilize them in your own life. So please sign up for that. If you haven't, or you have a friend, please share the link with them. If you know someone in your life or in your family that could really catch a break and get some help and support, then please send them there. I'll also be doing a follow-up for that particular group on the 9th, Facebook Live, a question and answer. So I can answer, everyone will have those tools. They'll have a week to kind of try them out, and then we'll get on Facebook Live on that group as well, and I'll answer questions and help people individually with their situation. Okay? So lots of good things going on in the world of recovery, and I love you all. If you have not, there's 2 other housekeeping things since I have you. One is, if you haven't joined my text community, I'd like you to do that. Okay? That's all over my page as well. So join my text community so you can be abreast of whatever's coming up. Also, I was hacked terribly on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, that's a different story, but I want to be able to reach people in case something like that happens again, which I don't think it can because I'm so secure now on every platform. But if it did, I want to be able to shoot out something to everybody at once. It's a way to get your questions to me one-on-one and me to respond to everybody in one whack. It's a great service. It's called Community. So my community text, please join that. And if you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate it. Even if you're not a big YouTuber, please go on YouTube and subscribe to my channel because it gets my message out to more people, the more subscribers I have. Okay? So I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.